Hi, I'm Jackie Toops with ArmyWife101.com, and today we have a fantastic guest. This is Charlynda Scales. She is a very good friend of mine. She is an Air Force veteran. She is the CEO of Mutt. She has participated in the Miss Veteran America pageant, and she has so many incredible things going on in her life right now. I can't wait to tell you a little bit about her, get to know her so you can support her and her business. So thank you so much for being here today, Charlynda.
Thanks for having me, Jackie. I'm excited about this.
Me too. I would love to tell everybody how I met you because I think that's a pretty fun story. So we were introduced by our mutual friend, Ty M. Carolina. Hello,
Hey,
Ty.
Ty.
We were in Orlando at the Military Influencer Conference, and after a mixer on the first night, we decided to go to Rising Star Karaoke at Universal City Walk, and you tore it up. You did country, and I did hip hop.
Look, was it you did TLC, Salt and Pepper?
Yes, Ty and I did.
Yeah.
And who did you do? Was it
Nice
Shania?
Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee, so like we give some homage to the Tennessee roots there.
That's incredible. And I'm from North Florida, so I'm giving homage to the Dirty South. So
Yeah.
So anyway, we connected over karaoke, and as we're there, I had had a long day. I'd been up since 3 a.m. traveling, and I hit the theme parks all day. And I said to Ty, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a man filming us, like a cameraman. And Ty laughed. She's like, well, yeah, that's because they're doing a documentary on Charlynda. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, I've got to get to know her better. And then I thought I need to be a little more aware of my surroundings because he had been there the whole time.
Yeah. Joe was just hanging out in the background.
Yes. So I love it. We met under really fun circumstances, and it was connecting at this incredible conference for military influencers. But it also showed me that you were like next level to have a cameraman following you around for a documentary.
It was humbling. It's great to be able to show the Military Influencer Conference and everyone that I've interacted with in the past year. So I'm glad you got to be a part of it too, because I'm like, Jackie is the heat. Like,
Oh, well, thank you. Well, we luckily are going to be attending a lot of the same events coming up very soon. Just this weekend, we have the 4th Annual Veterans Awards happening in Washington, D.C. We're both members of the Board of Governors, and that is an event produced by the Academy of United States Veterans. So that's going to be amazing.
That's a really great event. I went last year, Jackie, and I love to see the support that we're getting across the country for veterans and veteran organizations. Last year they had people like Montel Williams, who was he's a veteran himself. So some of these people you wouldn't realize in Hollywood, they either were veterans or they've done a lot of work with veterans and veteran organizations. So it was an eye opener for me, and this year is going to be even bigger. So it's not too late to get a ticket. So
that's right. You can get a ticket from vettys.org, vettys.org. It is this weekend. If you yourself can't come, but you want to sponsor a ticket, you can also sponsor a ticket for a veteran or for active duty military as well. And I was just showing Charlynda, I bought some lashes for the event. And Charlynda, we'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes about your experience as a pageant participant, because I'm sure you've got all the tips and tricks that we're going to need for the red carpet this weekend.
Well, I'm a country girl. Now, I tell you, a lot of this stuff I've learned through experience, crash course, really. I'd never really done any sort of like events like of that nature. I would get in trouble if I called it a pageant, because Jazz Booth, she founded it, and she calls it the P word. She called it as a competition, but it's great because it's a celebration of women, and the women behind what you would see in the uniform were mothers, sisters, daughters, wives. And even though we wear the uniform, we're feminine, right? It's a celebration of who we are as women. We do a lot of support for homeless female veterans. That's the charity that we support is Final Salute Incorporated. And they house homeless female veterans. So the whole year, these women are competing to raise money for the charity, learning military history, getting their push-ups in.
Yeah.
Like, but in the end, they want to celebrate your the fact that you're feminine. So you get a night where you dress up in gowns and get your hair done by volunteer makeup artists and beauty salons, and you really show off all facets of your personality. And that was a challenge for me because I was like, okay, do I have to wear heels? So they actually, I'm giving away a secret. They wear combat boots.
Under the evening gowns, or?
Evening gown, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes, like when I do a thing.
I think we just lost looks like we just lost Charlynda here. Let me see if we can get her to connect back here. She just gave away a very big secret of the Miss Veteran America pageant, that they wear combat boots under their evening gowns, and then she mysteriously disappeared.
I'm still here.
Let me see if we can.
I'm here, Jackie.
Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get Charlynda back. Oh, here we are. Great.
Hey.
Hi.
I could see you the whole time. I was like, what do you mean? I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that we've got you back. I was joking that you gave away a proprietary secret, and then all of a sudden you know.
Yeah, we wear combat boots. It's pretty awesome. And it's great when you have to do events, like appearances and stuff, because like, wow, I don't have to think about my feet hurting.
True. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure can you dance in combat boots pretty well?
Yeah,
Good.
Two step.
I love it. Well, so we've established that you're from Tennessee. Could you tell us a little bit about what it was that called you to join the service in the first place?
Oh yeah, I'm from a military family. We've served the last 4 generations. My grandfather was in Vietnam and Korea. And it was just kind of a thing. Like, someone in our generation is going to be in the service. Talk amongst yourselves. One of you is going.
Wow.
So, it's like not the typical, dinner time conversation. But in our household, it was. And I actually wanted to play sports. I wanted to play sports at Clemson. But I was still trying to figure out how I was going to pay for school. And I was very fortunate to get an Air Force ROTC scholarship to go to Clemson full ride. So that's how I ended up in the Air Force. And I chose the Air Force over the other branches since, I probably have some of my comrades like, why did you go in the Marine Corps? Why didn't you go in the Army? My grandfather was in the Air Force. He was an aircraft mechanic. I grew up with him. I loved all of his stories. So I thought, if he liked it, then I would like it. And I did.
That's excellent. And how many years did you serve?
10 years active, and then 3 years as a reservist so far. So I'm still in the reserves.
Incredible. So what I think is even more amazing is that while you were active duty military, you launched a business. And this business has a huge tie-in with his grandfather and a secret recipe. Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you got started with Mutt sauce?
So it's called Mutt sauce. My grandfather, his call sign was Mutt for his ability to blend.
Product placement.
I love having you in the Mutt sauce family. I'm so glad you're in the family.
Me too.
Yeah, his call sign was Mutt. So that's why it's called Mutt sauce. He came up with that recipe in 1956. And it was, he had this obsession with food and creating this product. And I was very humbled to receive the original recipe the only time he wrote it down. And he asked my mother to give it to me before he passed away. But she kept it a secret for about 8 years.
Oh, no.
So I was in the military, I'm serving, and, I just, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I have not had this sauce in almost a decade. What is going on? Does anybody know how to make it? And she said, well, you do, or soon you will. And that's when she told me. There's an envelope with the only recipe, no instructions. And I just thought I would start something so I could share this with everyone. Like, it really was a quest to share this with people. And I use local resources to learn how to start a business. So I have no business background. If everybody's like, oh, you came from it. No, I did not come from some sauce empire family. That was me.
But you're starting one.
Saying, how do you start a sauce company? Like, I didn't know what to do. So from scratch, we launched in 4 months. The Amish made my first production. Amish out in Ohio here. And they hand poured 700 bottles, and I went and sold all those. So after I sold them, I'm like, "What do you do? What do you do next?" They're like, "Well, you make more sauce and you keep selling it. That's business." So we're about 5 years old as a company now. We've been selling Mutt sauce ever since 2013.
That is terrific. Well, and I know that you got an incredible leg up thanks to Bob Evans, the Hero to CEO program. Can you talk a little bit about how that happened and then how you also got connected with Damon John of FUBU and Shark Tank?
Mm-hmm. Well, Evans is a really great thing. I call them pioneers in supporting veterans, because what a lot of these folks need is not so much a loan or an equity stake. If someone taking the equity of their company, they need mentorship and they need funds, not a whole bunch of funds, but enough that they can get to the next level. So Bob Evans recognized that. They started Heroes to CEOs, where they give you a grant and funding and mentorship. They give you the grant, which is a funding and mentorship to help you get there. And I learned that I was a grand prize winner for 2017. And I learned through a phone call because Damon John called me on my cell phone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was in DC and I was walking down the hallway, and my phone rang, and it was a New York number. I'm like, usually if it's an unknown number, I wait for them to leave a voicemail. But I was like, oh, what the heck? I'll just answer the phone. And they're like, Charlynda. Yes. This is Damon. Okay. I don't know who that is. I don't have any friends named Damon. So of course it says Damon John. You just fall out. Like,
yeah.
I was like, why is she screaming? Like, there? And it was great. You get there. The CEO, Bob Evans, Mr. Townsley, he sat us all down. So it was him, the CFO, Bob Evans, and Damon John, and they peel apart your business to say, what do you need to do with this funding? And for me, the instructions was go back to Ohio, manufacture more sauce, and focus on concentric growth, which is grow from the inside out. Don't try to be everywhere all over the country selling sauce. You need to tackle where you're at first. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. So this past year, and then when you learn that Damon John's your mentor, you're like,
that's surreal. I can't even imagine how that felt.
It was priceless. It was really priceless. But I say that to encourage other entrepreneurs, because you grind and grind and grind and grind, and you just never know if there's going to be a breakthrough. But I guarantee you, at some point, there is a breakthrough. And just hang in there. You just gotta hang in there.
That's tremendous. And I love the advice about growing from the inside out. Because it's like, where do you start? Once you have this money and you have this, it's like the world is your oyster. So where do you put your efforts and your energy? And I'm going to close my window just as long as the sun started coming in. I
was like, she's glowing.
One moment, please. Sure. Okay. There we go. That should be.
Do we have questions? I see there's some. Oh, hey, there's some people on there. Hey, guys.
We do have some people on here. Thank you guys for watching. We've got Marla and Marika.
Cedric. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. So that is all incredible. And I think what's amazing is that it wasn't a loan. It was a grant. So you get the money free and clear. It's yours. Mm-hmm. And then you get the mentorship as well. Because if someone handed me, was it $25,000?
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I tell you, like, when you see the check, you're like, holy cow. But the reason why they sit you down and mentor you immediately is because they need to, get you to focus. Because a lot of these entrepreneurs are like, I have won the lottery, but you haven't. You haven't. There's things that you need to do. And they're like, if you have any outstanding bills with anybody, pay them first. Start with a clean slate. Then if you have anything related to the operations of your business, do that next. Stuff that they normally see entrepreneurs do, like, oh, I need to get a down payment on a brick and mortar when you don't really need one yet. Or, I'm going to give myself a fat salary. No, You don't need to do that yet either. Whatever you're doing to pay yourself, just keep doing that. But just making sure that you do things in the right order. And they said they don't give more than 25,000 because they want you to count the pennies. They want you to think about every single financial decision that you're making, because 25,000 runs out real quick. I know mine, by the time I'd done my operations and paid off everything, it was like 2 months later.
Oh, wow.
2 months, yeah. But, I felt in 2 months, wow, I've redesigned my line. I've added a flavor. We're prepared for any new contracts. Like, I felt like we're in a better place to scale up. And my comrades too. So there were the 3 winners, Vet Veggies and Fam Food. And yeah, they were like, hey, that was like, thank you. And that's it. So you just have to be mindful of how you spend it. You really got to do it the right way so you don't put yourself in more of a financial bind.
Well, that's fantastic advice to anyone starting out, because I know that so many military spouses and veterans and current, service members are interested in starting their own business. So this is something that I think is really pertinent and very important, that you do have to be very mindful and put your money in the best, most strategic places first. And then once that foundation is built, then you can continue to grow and build.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really key. That is excellent. Well, so you have 4 flavors now of your sauce?
Yes, we have original, which you have.
That's what I have.
There's sweet and spicy. We have ghost pepper. And then we have gluten-free. Because I tell people the reason why we have to specify gluten-free, we don't use molasses or brown sugar, which I think are typical sauce ingredients. We use soy sauce. And soy sauce has wheat gluten. So it took us 3 years to find a manufacturer who could make something with tamari, which is a wheat-free soy sauce.
Wow.
The crazy things that you learn on the journey of, like, I know way more about sauce, tomatoes, and soy sauce than I ever thought I would know in my life. Even ghost pepper, it took us 6 months of research to find the right pepper.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So how many people are on your team?
Right now, I have myself, I have an operations person, and then we have about 5 independent contractors. I did have 11, but I've really kind of like pared down the team because I'm like, I have some very capable folks, and I would rather be able to pour in my energy into a small team that is highly effective than a large team that's hard to manage a lot of people. So we're small but mighty.
Excellent. I love that spirit. And so now you're managing to get your product. Well, you said you had those first, 700 bottles and you sold them. How did you go about selling them? Were you selling them online or to family and friends? How did you start?
Well, that first one was a launch event. So I joined the local chamber of commerce, which anybody can join your local chamber of commerce. And their job is to support you and to put you out there to the locals and say, this is a business that you need to support in your hometown. And so they invited the public. The local chamber of commerce invited the public to come in, and that launch event was when we sold everything.
Perfect.
And then after that, you look at retail. So if your product is ready for retail, you look at independently owned, like mom and pop shops, and people who you can walk in and present the product. And a lot of times what I would do is I would make a meal and then schedule the meeting at like lunch. So they're hungry and you're just sitting there. I was like, so let's talk about this product. And they're like, man, these ribs are good. So you want my product? I'm like, yeah. So that was my strategy for a long time. And then I started approaching Kroger. So there's some big chains that have a buy local program. So if you are a local product, you can be in the big grocery store, but just on like the local shelf. And I did that with Kroger. And so by the time I reached year 4 and I'm pitching to Kroger and they're like, what stores are you in? I say, Kroger. And they're like, okay. But it's because I went to every single Kroger in my local area and pitched to the local Kroger. But we just got a corporate contract with Kroger that starts in about late April, early May. And we're prepping for that. That's what we're prepping for right now.
That is massive. I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio for a year, and Kroger was my store. That's where you shopped.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Florida, so it's all Publix, and I came up and discovered Kroger. And those stores are big, they're beautiful, and just thinking that this, you could go walk through the aisles and this is on the shelf. I can't imagine how exciting that would be.
I get blown away by the whole process. I feel like my grandfather handed me a journey of humility, right? You have to stay humble through this whole process because it's the village, the village is helping you. The people who are customers, they're supporting you. You can't do it without other people. So all of this is through the support and the help of others. And it just keeps me humble because I'm really grateful. I never could have imagined being at this point. I can't imagine where we're going to be a year from now. It's just great. It's a great journey.
Well, I can't wait to see and keep up with what you're doing. And what I think is amazing is that he handed you this and you could have just said, oh, cool, popped it in a recipe box and just made it for yourself. But the fact that you decided to go into business for yourself, become a CEO, and now distribute this through grocery stores, I mean, that's massive. You did something really, truly remarkable. So congratulations.
I'm just glad to have so many people in the family. It feels like, you just keep adding people to the family. Jackie's in the family.
I'm in the family. I'm so glad this lid is on tight because when I joked and did that in the beginning, I was like, can you imagine?
The Mutt sauce shower.
Yeah, it's the Mutt sauce challenge, just whoops. But no, once I heard that you had this sauce and I saw that you were, promoting it at the conference, I thought, well, I absolutely have to try it. And so I ordered it online. It was delivered to my house. It was very convenient because I'm in Maryland. I'm not local to you in Ohio, but
yeah,
we should come to my house. Yeah.
We ship across the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. It ships across the U.S. and it's muttsauce.com. I have a link in the introduction to the video here. And so if you'd like to try it, I love that you've got the other flavors. I want to try the ghost pepper sounds pretty hot. Is it really spicy?
Well, I mean, if you don't like spicy food, it's probably a little spicy, but people have been pleasantly surprised because Mutt sauce has a sweetness to it. So it kind of takes out the bite of the ghost pepper. Like if you were to eat ghost pepper raw, God bless you. I hope you survive. But it takes out the bite of a ghost pepper, and it's powdered. So maybe like a quart can do 700 to 1,000 bottles. Just a small thing does all those. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. I do like spicy, so I'll definitely have to give that a try as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's fantastic. Well, so do you have any piece of advice you would like to give to any other veteran or military spouse who are looking to start their own business?
I would just say, one, do your research. There's a lot of resources out there these days. Just finding the one that's right for you, and stay open to mentoring because there's so many people out here that have done it. You can't shy away from learning, and we're really great examples. Because I tell you right now, I've learned a lot from you. I've been watching all of these Army wife things. I've been watching every single one, and every single time I learned something new. And even the Be Live, I was like, this is a really great platform because you're able to reach so many people and learn from them. But you have to be open to that. You can't just get in your mind that, hey, I've been in this for 3 years and I know all there is to know. Because I guarantee you, there's 5 people in your same industry who are hungry every day, trying to improve themselves. So that's what it is. I would say find your resources and be open to learning.
That's wonderful. And I love that you've been open to putting yourself out there. I mean, you've approached these stores. I mean, did you get a yes on the first try or did you have to keep going?
No, I mean, there was one store and I'm just so grateful. It's called Dorothy Lane Market and it's in Dayton, Ohio. Well, they have 3 different stores and they turned me down 4 times. And I'm
asking. I love it.
Wow. And every time I'm trying a different tactic. I'm like, okay, let's make them some ribs and take the meeting. Or let's just call one of the owners and take the meeting. And so I got everything from, well, hey, you guys, we're saturated with barbecue. I was like, oh, I forgot part of my pitch. I just needed to say that up front that we're not barbecue. So, you know, every time that you're getting rejected, you're going back saying, what did I do? What was in my messaging, or what part of my product needs improvement? So I pretended to be a distributor and to get on the calendar, because I was like, they always take meetings with the distributors. So I was like, yes, I need to take a meeting with you. I said, I work with CNS, which is my distributor. And they're like, oh, you work with them? Yes, I do. That is the truth. And they're like, we'll put you on the calendar.
Eat a rib. Yeah. No more questions.
I walk in, and it's the one of the lead product acceptors, and he was like, I know you. I was like, yes, I'm the owner of Mutt Sauce. So I just thought I would get on your calendar. He's like, no, my meeting is with CNS. I was like, no, I said I worked with CNS. I didn't say I was CNS. But while I'm here, since I have an hour of your time, I was just like, I didn't want to take no for an answer. That bugs me so bad. And afterwards, he's like, so you're not barbecue? No. And he's like, can you have a product line? Yes. Can you distribute? Clearly, because you're going to take a meeting with my distributor. How about we just get the yes? So we debut in Dorothy Lane on Super Bowl weekend. So.
That's perfect. That's remarkable. Your persistence paid off, and I love that. You didn't take rejection and just say, oh, they don't want me. You thought, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I improve my pitch? How can I try a different way, either over, around, or through? You know, I think that's remarkable.
I think there's many people that don't get discouraged by a rejection. Learn from it. Keep going. Because it can turn into a yes if you just persist. Just keep going.
Absolutely. I love that spirit. Oh, that's wonderful. And this is why you've been so successful so far. And I know you're going to have a very bright future. I can't wait to just maybe one day see your sauce all over the country in different chain grocery stores, and who knows?
That would be great. That would be great. But, of anything, it's great to be able to serve people. It's really great to be able to support, good folks who are doing great things in this country. I love supporting veterans. You and we share this desire to just really be impactful and help our brothers and sisters. So whatever means we got to get there and do that. And that's what brings me joy. And, I'm glad. I don't know why we haven't met earlier, Jackie. Shoot, I'm glad we have.
Me too. I think it's because I've just been working from home and just decided to start putting myself out there and attending conferences last year. And then just my network exploded with all these amazing people.
Yeah. So tell me about that. Because you went we're also both going to the 10X Growth Con.
Yes.
And I love the interview with Elena. That was really great. But, this past year, you have really just exploded. Did you learn things from 10X or?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. So I love how we just flipped the interview around. You're good. Last year I was looking for some personal development because I thought I need to do more than just writing an article here or there. I wanted to really boost myself and, work on my own business. Mm-hmm. And so I read The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. It was recommended to me by one of my best friends, Mareike, whom I met in Germany. I just found out she's going to also be at 10X, so I have to introduce you to her as well. But I went out to Vegas, went to the conference, and while I was there, that was the first time I ever saw Damon John, who I found out that you now know. I thought, oh, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. But I learned a lot of strategies and tips on building your business, on you can't do everything yourself, so you need a solid team. Sometimes you need to outsource because everyone has different talents, and everything was all about video. And so here we are, and I came back and I started doing video. I also connected with someone who hired me. It's called Dream Starters Publishing, and I started ghostwriting books for him. So in addition to the work I'm doing with Army Wife 101 and Sofluential Media, both by Crystal Spell, I started picking up other outlets, non-military outlets as well. So it's just kind of turned into this really well-rounded experience. So after that, I went to the Military Influencer Conference, and things just exploded from that as well. And I've met the best people who are veterans, they're active duty, they're military spouses, and they're all entrepreneurial minded. They all have these great ideas and concepts and things to share. And they're just finding that by connecting and collaborating like we are now, we can help boost each other's brands and business.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about. I mean, working together to uplift each other. Because that's all it really is, like intellectual property. Like, what do you know?
Yes.
You know something that I don't know? Let's help each other.
Agreed. I love it. And that's the spirit and that's the camaraderie. And that's what I think is amazing. And you see it so much in the military community. And although I myself haven't served in the military, I have been a part of the community, like in a roundabout way that I never anticipated. But it is so close knit. I love it. I love the spirit. I love the way that everyone wants to support each other, lift each other up. And so meeting veterans like you, it's just really thrilling to me because you're continuing service. You're just doing it in a new way.
Yeah.
A delicious way.
Glad I can oblige.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Charlynda. It's been a true pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend in Washington, D.C. for the 4th Annual Veterans Awards, and then next month in Miami at the 10X Growth Con.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be amazing. Everyone, please do keep your eyes on her, and if you're interested in trying some of the delicious sauce, this is the original, her grandfather on the front. You can go to muttsauce.com. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Jackie.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in. And hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.